Hi guys, I couldn't sleep last night. I was just thinking there's more chess.com bots for me to face, and I just gotta play them. So today, Hafu the 1500. She's an American streamer and a World of Warcraft and Hearthstone player. Can you beat the champion of the second edition of PogChamps? Okay, Hafu. Man, I got into Hearthstone. I don't know if you let me know in the comments if you played like Hearthstone. I got way too into that game. So addictive. I got to like rank 4. So we got a Sicilian. Hafu. I don't know if this girl is aggressive or what. So maybe we just see how it goes. I'm gonna do a video after this, analyzing all 3 of the games from the new bots and just like an announcement like chess.com release new bots. Here's what they are. So I'll be able to give more educated answer onto the playing styles then. She seems a little bit aggressive from this move, but yeah, we're fine. We just step out of the pin issue. And here, guys, remember to take with the pawn. Just keep your bishop on the board and you can kick this knight back at your leisure. So putting a bit of pressure on the center here is nice. And then I sometimes play this in order to develop the knight this way and maintain the vision of the bishop. Keep these dark squares nice and open. Okay, so they've got pressure here on this square. So do we break in the center? If here takes, I think it's fine. Although they can jump to this square and hit my bishop. If I lift my queen, that just defends everything, I believe. Just defending this square. And now we can get the knight out to the intended square, keeping the bishop open and getting ready to castle. And we've got a perfectly nice position here. So we can push this. The only thing, guys, this is slightly weakening the dark squares, all right? You know, this structure here, if the queen ever comes here, is very strong. But since they haven't got a light square bishop, I'm not worried about weakening these light squares too much. In a way, a bishop's more of a scary thing than a queen. Because it's worthless, it can just throw itself into your structure more easily. So if this looks natural, kick the bishop again, but then this pawn becomes like a little bit backwards. And our queen is stuck defending it. There is also this alignment issue, which I'm not happy about. I mean, bringing a rook looks interesting. This looks interesting. They have got too much pressure on this square right now. So I'm going to play this. I'm just a bit worried about this pawn long term. So I might look to break if takes. I think I'm going to break and try and resolve this weak pawn while I can, guys. I think that's okay. Here, takes. We got the defense of the knight, so let's go for that. And we've got a big center here. So let's try and crack open the position and start attacking here. I might play this move, just sliding the king over in the future to get off this light square diagonal. So our queen is hit. Where do we want to put our queen? Here we block in our own bishop. This looks interesting if takes. We do get an isolated pawn though. So this also maintains the defense of this. If here, they can come here, which is annoying. So I quite like this move. Might not matter too much. Let's go for this. So the other new bot was a little bit weak, I thought. I was a bit surprised. Didn't play like a 1600. You know, Voyboy. He didn't play like a 1600. So here, I guess maintains defense of the bishop. Stops the knight jumping here. And they trade, which simplifies things. So just a very even game right now. Nothing much. So if this, we hit the bishop. I'd like that. Also, just noting these dark squares are a little bit weak, so maybe I want to try and rotate the bishop round somehow. I'm going to hit the bishop and try and play this move with a pawn. Just opening up my position slightly. Now this looks natural, reducing the queen's effect on the pawn, but then this pawn pushes and kicks my knight back. Yeah. I'll just slide off this diagonal. Or play this and just lock the structure in. But then if this pawn break, I cannot capture. I might just slide a rook over so I've got pressure on their queen. like X-ray pressure. And then I'm less worried about playing this. So if I rotate round, does that look okay? If they push me, I've got a retreating square with the knight. We're always threatening to like jump into the position. We've sort of got a looming knight right now. So if here takes, we could do that. I'm not saying that it gives me a massive advantage though. How do we win this game? Now we can just take this, and then we are dominant on the dark squares. Okay, I really want to rotate this bishop because it's not doing anything here. And note this alignment issue with all these pieces looking like maybe I could skewer them all. I'm going to just slowly start to rotate. Ooh, this looks interesting. Rotate round. Now they can just slide back. But if they ever move their knight, they're going to get this skewer. So how can I improve my position? I want to get the king off this diagonal. If in the corner, might be safer. If here, they've not got a dark square bishop to target my king. And they step off this alignment issue. Alright, she's playing really solid. Yet to find my advantage, guys. But, you know, something I learned, the way these bots work is, if they play like loads of good moves, they will throw in the odd bad one. Just like humans, I guess. But that's how they're programmed. So it sort of averages out. Because they'll play like the best move 10 in a row. But then they'll be acting like a 2000 bot when they're 1500. So it throws in a blunder. So if here, a nice diagonal, it pins the knight. It's restrictive, but doesn't actually win anything. But it's just an improving move, I think. They're going after this pawn. Except we've got it defended. This looks to try and wreck their structure. These three pawns are really strong. If I could get them to take and double the pawns, that would be nice. Are they going to do this and try and win this pawn? Could I go here? You know what? They're going to try and put pressure on this pawn, but I've got a way to relieve that pressure instantly. If they take, I get the most beautiful bishop you've ever seen. Ooh, okay. If this, they win a rook after takes. Yeah. If this, it defends the queen. Takes, but then they win this pawn at the end. I cannot push. Not sure what to do here, guys. Let's not throw this game. Come on. If here, going after this, it's not fast enough, is it? There's just a lot of pressure on my center. What if we just take? It looks a bit sketch, doesn't it? But I'm gonna just take the pawn. Oh no, they're offering me another pawn. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is opening up their position as well. But yeah, this pawn is looking very weak. It takes. I'm just about holding on to this pawn, but I don't know if I'd want to recapture, because then they get this. Pinning the piece, but I could get out the pin and just take the knight. I think I'm alright. A little bit scary. So now their king's more open. And now if I bring the rook, I could just take this. And if queen takes, I've got enough coverage of this d7 square. That's my thinking, guys. Hope you're all well, by the way. Normally say that earlier in the video. So I'm just a bit... I'm just pausing. Because this knight jump scared me a little bit. Just hitting the bishop, I can slide back. Maybe it's okay. Also, there's this. There was this trying to win the queen. If they brought another rook, you know, like in this position, if they brought another rook, there was that fork availability. So now if takes, again, because they've added a third attacker, they win my rook. Which is annoying. What if I just change the angles a little bit? What are we up by a pawn? I'd love to come around here, but their knight covers these squares. And if here and they take, I just get horrible double isolated pawns. So it's not very clear what I do here. It's all blocked up. If I go up, they take, I take, they take. Sorry, up. They take, I take. If they take, I take, they take, I take. They take at the end, and we lose the bishop for a pawn, I think. I don't know how we defend this pawn. I'm just going to play queen up slowly in order to bring the rook to that d7 square. Oh, but then this. So this. And if that, then they lose the pressure on my pawn. So I can't take. They've just got too much pressure. I slide back and then try and win this pawn later on. Also holds this pawn. This creates an alignment. They're trying to trade now. So if I take, they get double isolated pawns, and they're going to struggle to hold on to this pawn. So I think this might be a winning endgame, you know. Like, Bosh, how do they hold on to this? How indeed, guys? Oh. If I take, they develop their king. If I come up and create a little hole for the king to help the attack of this pawn, but then they just check me. Still, this looks interesting to try and get the king up. Actually, that move, that pawn move, sorry. I didn't realize how good this pawn move was until I saw this. It actually dominates the knight as well. So now they're saying if we take, they're going to get this. And then after king here, what have they got? Nothing. I'm going to take. And now their pawns just look very weak. Because I can trade that off if I like. But I can also go like that and just start attacking their pawns. And defend simultaneously. Attack and defend at the same time, guys. It's always a good plan. And double checking. If check here and they've not got a continuation. So let's go after these pawns. If here we lose the base of the pawn chain, so this way. We take with the pawn. You know what? I was thinking in endgames, A pawns and H pawns aren't as good as like B and G. But then if I do take like that, I can't take the other one with a rook. So I'm going to take with a rook. And we're winning this as well. Now we're just up by 3 pawns, and this is definitely a winning endgame. In fact, I should have thrown in this move just to simplify. If this looks very good. Have they got a fork? No. And we're just trying to target this pawn. Bosh. And we push this guy. Just permanently checking they've not got any knight forks. Like Bosh. If this take up, they go here and stop me promoting. If this, they've not got any knight forks. We're still trying to promote this. Takes. I mean, that definitely wins. We might not be able to promote this pawn, but we're happy. In fact, we just hit the knight, don't we? We just hit the knight. And then we're covering this square. Yeah. So they will... Let's send their king into the corner. And then let's go after this pawn. And then we bring the king. So let's put a few pre-moves out there. We shoulder the king as much as we can. They're coming in. We take the opposition? No. But let's bring a pawn. Take the opposition now. If they can go here. They've got to move. Just making sure I don't stalemate, guys. So they've got this move so we can advance. Let's just get the bad boy bishop out of the way. Still got this square. And then we check. If check, what do? They go here. You know, I'm going to get the king out of the way. I think it's just easier because I know this is a mate. You know, when you get 2 pawns and shove them in the king's face, I know it's just mate. Whereas if your king's in the way, it can be a bit awkward with stalemates. So it's good to just get the king out of the way there. And then this should be some sort of mate. So if here, that is stalemate. So we go this way, and that forces the king out. And then we take opposition, sideways opposition, force the king out again, and then we promote a check, so we're safe. If this, they've got this square, and then bosh bosh. And then you know how to do this, guys. You don't need me, right? I just don't want to stalemate, so let's just keep checking, then I don't have to calculate anything. If it's check, it can't be stalemate, you know? Wow, let's just check in the middle of the board. Mate, sorry. Did I play alright there? One mistake. Alright, we'll leave it there. Hope you enjoyed that one, guys. Like and subscribe if you did. Buy me a coffee if you got money and want to support the channel. Cheers, see you next time.